And they see that every day. How does the program work? It's not too complex. We're a staffing agency. We go out to companies and we sell jobs. Now, when we first did this, it was a little difficult. We were selling land in Arizona. I mean, we didn't know what, we honestly didn't quite know what we were doing. I remember sitting in front of Alan Krulak one time, early on at Forest City, explaining what we were doing. I don't know what he thought, but whatever he thought, they gave us a job, and God bless him, and that was great. 22 companies gave us a job 5 years ago. 17 of those companies are still with us. Now, what does that mean, give us a job? You get a full-time employee, which is actually a job team of 4 students. There's a Tuesday worker, a Wednesday worker, a Thursday worker, and a Friday worker. 1 week a month, they work Monday. Okay, it's a tough elevator speech, by the way, because of this complex program. Anyway, so the kids end up working 5 days a month. They go to school 15 days of the month. Not unlike college, where you don't go to school every day, you go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever the case may be. Isn't that right, Betty? We go every other, yeah, okay. She's in college, she's going to school. Anyway, the idea is that they go, but they go longer when they're in school. Their classes are longer. They're 60 minutes long rather than 40 or 45 minutes long. So the whole operation, believe it or not, works, and I think the proof is in the pudding. They do very well in school and do very well as they get into college. What kind of jobs are they? They're office administrative assistants types of jobs. They're support jobs, answering phones, filing, scanning, data entry. Our largest employer is the Cleveland Clinic. We have 7 jobs there. And they do anything from medical records to patient intake to patient transport, manning the information desk, whatever the case may be. They're great support workers, and they're very eager to be there. What 14 or 15-year-old would not be eager not to be in school? So they're not at school, they're at work, and they think it's a great deal. So we like to keep it that way. As I mentioned, the clinic's been our largest supporter, but we've had many of the law firms in the city have supported us, Metro Health, University, hospitals. There's 103 sponsors, and I can't read them all, but they are on our material as you leave the room. Central to the value proposition of what we're doing is that we're asking corporations in the city and the surrounding areas to be good corporate citizens. This is a problem, education and workforce development, which is all of our problem, and we have to do something about it. It provides a good business experience for the young person, certainly, but it's also a potential HR pipeline for the company. We have a young man who graduated, grew up right across the street from you, Mayor. His name is Gary Martin. I don't know if you know the Martins, but they live literally, I think, across the street, or diagonal maybe. And he came to our school. He went there for 4 years. He graduated, got a full ride to Fairfield University, where he's attending right now, taking calculus and Chinese. He worked for 3 years for Parker Hannifin. He's going to get an internship job there outside of where Fairfield is in Connecticut at a Parker Hannifin company. So by the time he graduates, he'll be 21 years old and have 7 years of work experience at Parker Hannifin. That's phenomenal. So that's the kind of school that we have, and it is definitely working. I think the biggest story beyond the success of our young people, which is a big story, is the absolute buy-in we've had from Cleveland corporate business. They see the value in this. Since our inception, I did a little math this morning, since August of 2004, our corporate sponsors collectively have paid $7,246,605 for our students to get educated. Now that's a commitment that's putting your money where your mouth is. So I can't thank the corporate community enough in Cleveland, and I will say that we need more jobs. So if you'd like to do that, be fine. Now, obviously, we're in a crisis. We're in a crisis economically. We're in a crisis educationally. But at the heart of every crisis lies a tremendous opportunity. And I think we have a tremendous opportunity. First, though, let's look at the brutal facts. Jim Collins, Good to Great, talks about if you want to get to be great, you got to look at where you are right now. And I'm going to give you national statistics. Again, because this is not a Cleveland problem. This is the United States of America problem. Any urban area in this country has very similar numbers. Nobody's out of the box just yet. 46% of all first-year students in college, that's of every student who goes to college in the United States, requires remedial education in both English and mathematics. That's half of the graduates of American high schools are in that situation. Of those taking the 2 remedial classes, so that's half, only 20% will ever receive a degree. Children from low-income families are particularly vulnerable to all this. Many times the child is the first child to go to college, so they don't have anybody helping them. They need the schools to help and set the bar, and that's apparently not happening. And of those low-income families, only 60% of that group can expect to graduate from high school. Only 1 in 3 will enroll in college, and only 1 in 7 will earn a degree. United States of America. How's Ohio doing? Well, Ohio has 1 in 4 kids in Ohio don't graduate from high school. 1 in 4. 1 in 2 African Americans do not graduate. 1 in 3 Latinos do not graduate. And 1 in 5 white do not graduate. It's miserable. Of all the high school graduates in Ohio, only 60% go directly to college. Remember 2012, we're going to need post-secondary education? I don't know where it's going to come from. I really don't. Every year, 1 million kids drop out of high school. 1 million kids in this country drop out. 71% of kids graduate from high school within 4 years, and for minorities, the numbers are even worse. 58% of the Latinos and 55% of the African Americans. You know, several months ago, Reverend Otis Moss was here, giving, I think maybe his retirement speech here at the City Club. And he revealed there, I didn't know this, that Martin Luther King presided over his wedding, which I think is a remarkable thing. And he gave a talk, and his theme was the need for a strong central city, which I'm sure the mayor agrees with. And one of the reasons, one of the underpinnings of a strong central city is a very good public education system. And I couldn't agree with him more. But there's a twist to that I want to add a little bit later. The speeches of Martin Luther King were very much part of my childhood. I was born in 1951. He gave his famous I Have a Dream speech in 1963. My brother was at that speech. I still find that unbelievable. When I was accepted to attend Georgetown University in 1969, Dr. King was killed, assassinated. Robert Kennedy was assassinated. Vietnam was beginning to consume our nation. Things were going south. Talk about a crisis. I remember seeing a picture of Malcolm X in Life magazine holding a gun with a caption, "By any means necessary." I must admit I was scared by that pronouncement. I read the book and began to get a glimpse into a world I really did not know. 34 years later, and I look at what I'm doing now, I'm looking at my previous life, if you will, was preparation for what I'm doing right now. Somehow, because it's all coming together. But 34 years later, I left Ignatius, where I'd been there for 12 years, wonderful 12 years. My 2 sons graduated from there. After a total of 30 years working in Jesuit secondary education, Loyola Academies in suburban North Shore, Chicago, where I went to school, and of course St. Ignatius is in Ohio City. And I was driving down Superior Avenue. This is when we were starting the school. I was scouting out the neighborhood where our school is going to be. And I noticed painted in Day-Glo orange, Day-Glo, by the way, a great Cleveland company and a sponsor, I might add, okay. I don't know if they approve of the use of the product, but it certainly is a good product. But on the slats of a cyclone fence, you know how sometimes they put slats so you can't see through? It said, in orange, "Revolution is the only solution." I'm like, I felt like I was back in Peru. I was blown away by that. And it scared me. Only this time, there wasn't a book about it. I couldn't read about it, I was living it. And so I've begun to get a glimpse into a world where slogans like "by any means necessary" and "revolution is the only solution" arise from the people. It's the world I'm in. I can't bring myself ever, and I never will, to advocate violence.